I was halfway through my Saturday brunch shift at Sunrise Cafe, pouring coffee for a table of regulars, when a piercing screech cut through the hum of chatter and clinking plates. It was the kind of sound that makes every server's heart sink, a mix of outrage and entitlement that promises trouble. I turned to see a woman in sleek yoga pants and a designer VY source slamming her receipt on the counter, her face twisted in fury. $5 for apple juice. $5? This is outright theft, she bellowed, loud enough to silence the entire restaurant. Her son, a boy about 8, tugged at her arm, his cheeks flaming with embarrassment. "Mom, please," he whispered, but she brushed him off, too consumed by her rage. Her name was Linda Harper, president of the Pinewood Estates HOA, and she was notorious in our little community for her petty power plays. I'd served her before, and her routine was predictable. She'd breeze in, radiating superiority, order without glancing at prices, and throw a fit when the bill didn't match her expectations. Today was no exception. "I demand your manager this instant," she snapped, jabbing a finger at our hostess, Sarah. "This is discrimination against HOA families. We keep this place afloat with our business." Customers froze mid-bite, forks hovering, as heads swiveled toward the spectacle. A few were already fishing out their phones, sensing VY Raugold. I caught my coworker Emma's eye, and we exchanged a knowing look. Working at Sunrise Cafe, just on the edge of Pinewood Estates, had its perks: decent tips, friendly faces, and a manager who had our backs. But Linda was the customer we all dreaded, the one who topped our unspoken blacklist. She'd saunter in, phone glued to her ear, barking about HOA nonsense while her son doodled quietly. That morning, she'd barely acknowledged me when I took her order. A brunch special for her, chicken tenders for her son, and a curt "he'll have apple juice." No questions about the menu, no hint she cared about the cost. Our kids' meals don't include drinks, it's right there in bold print, but Linda never bothered with details. Now, as she berated Sarah, I approached, bracing myself. "Ms. Harper, is there an issue with your bill?" I asked, keeping my tone calm, professional. She spun around, eyes blazing. "You're charging $5 for a child's juice." A child? Any respectable place would include that with a kid's meal. "I bring this cafe serious business. The entire HOA board meets here monthly." Her voice was a whip, cracking through the air. I took a breath. "I understand you're upset, but our kids' meals don't come with beverages. It's listed on the menu." "Ridiculous," she spat, while VYing the receipt in my face. "I'm not paying this. Do you know the influence I have? One email to my HOA list, and I could shut this place down." Her son had slunk back to their table, burying his face in his hands. Customers were gawking now, some whispering, others recording. At least 3 phones were up, capturing every word. Linda, Obli VYS, pressed on. "The HOA brings you tons of business. We deserve perks, discounts, free items. That's how you build community loyalty." I kept my face neutral. "Everyone pays the same prices, Ms. Harper. We don't offer discounts based on community roles." "Wrong move." Her face flushed a dangerous red. "Are you targeting me because I'm a mother?" she shrieked, twisting the narrative. "Trying to shame my child? This is the anti-family nonsense I fight as HOA president." Her son, still at the table, was now hunched over his crayons, practically in VY Cybele. Diners weren't even pretending to eat anymore. A couple nearby was definitely filming, their phones angled for the best shot. "I'm getting your manager," Linda declared, storming back to the counter. Emma rolled her eyes as our manager, Tom, emerged from the back, drawn by the commotion. Tom was a pro, cool-headed but firm. "Hello, Ms. Harper. I hear there's a problem with your bill," he said, his voice steady. Linda unleashed her tirade again, now claiming I'd been rude and that she'd been promised free kids drinks, both lies. "This is unacceptable," she roared. "I know the mayor personally. One call, and I'll have health inspectors here by Monday." Tom didn't flinch. "I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. As a gesture of goodwill, we'll remove the juice charge." I thought that might end it, but Linda smelled blood. "The juice," she laughed, sharp and mocking. "After this treatment, I expect the entire meal comped." My son is traumatized. I've been humiliated. Do you know the kind of re-VYEW I could leave? The community backlash I could stir up? Tom paused, weighing his options. Fight over a due Law 35 tab, or cut losses to avoid her wrath. More phones were up now, recording every second of her meltdown. "All right, Ms. Harper," Tom said finally. "As a one-time courtesy, we'll comp your meal." What Linda didn't know was that Tom was quietly flagging her account in our system, requiring prepayment for future VY sits. Her expression shifted from fury to smug triumph. "That's the least you could do," she sniffed, grabbing her purse. "Come on, Ethan. We're Leah VYing. Box up those tenders." I packed her son's barely touched meal, and she snatched the container without a thank you, marching out with her head high, Ethan trailing behind, muttering a soft sorry as they left. The cafe was silent for a beat. Then the buzz of conversation returned, now electric with gossip about what everyone had just seen. I apologized to my other tables, but most were sympathetic. "Was she for real?" a regular asked, throwing a fit over juice and flexing her HOA clout. I sighed. "Yeah, she's a regular nightmare." What we didn't know was that Linda's outburst had been caught by multiple phones, including a local food blogger's. By evening, clips were spreading online, racking up VYUs with captions like, "HOA Queen loses it over due Law 5 juice," and "Entitled Mom threatens cafe staff." By Sunday, the VY Deo had exploded with thousands of shares. Locals identified Linda as Pinewood's HOA president, piling on stories of her draconian rules and power trips. She tried to spin it, posting in a neighborhood Facebook group that she was defending family rights and had been disrespected as a community leader. But the footage didn't lie, and neighbors who chafed under her reign tore into her. By Monday, the HOA board called an emergency meeting to address the damage to Pinewood's reputation. Linda strutted in, certain her loyal board would rally behind her. Instead, they hit her with a motion to remove her as president, citing bylaws about conduct that disgraced the community. The vote was brutal 8-0 for her immediate ouster, plus a 5-year ban from HOA roles. As she stormed out, pale with shock, Linda was handed one final blow, a Dulaw $3,500 bill for legal fees the HOA incurred over her social media fiasco. "This is outrageous," she gasped, clutching the invoice. "You can't do this." But they already had. Her reign was over, her influence shattered, all because she couldn't stomach a due Law 5 juice. So what do you think? Was Linda's meltdown just a bad day, or did she get what she deserved? Should the cafe have stood firm, or was comping the meal the smart move? And what about the HO affair punishment, or did they go too far? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more wild stories.